Mm. Mm. Fantastic, Joe. Indeed. Oh, so you are not a Gen Z, but I think you relate very well with Gen Z. You're a millennial, and most of the listeners, yes, most of the listeners are Gen Z people. Wow. Joe, that was very beautiful. Thank you for letting us know that you're not a Gen Z. And but in millennials, most of them these days are Gen Z. So your sales account executive. We'll dive into that shortly. Joe, quickly tell us about your growing up. Where did you grow up from? Because it turns out you're in Canada, and but how did you get to Canada? Did you study from Kenya and move? How did that go? Tell us that journey. How did it start? Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
At the same time, like we were learning from Strathmore University, and the whole idea was to like provide support, but at the same time enable people to build local solutions targeted at local problems. So I really resonated with that idea. And first prize for winning this competition was going to be a trip to Canada. So I mean, yeah, we participated in it. It took longer than now. 6 months. Initially, it took about 1.5 years. If you remember at the time, Kenya was kind of going through a lot of, terrorist, attacks and stuff. So it did get delayed because of that. And but we did, and eventually end up, winning this competition. And the first reward we got was like a 2-week trip to Canada, for a startup boot camp. So, I was first time leaving the continent and, just came on this side and really appreciated kind of, the ecosystem that's available on this side in terms of technology. And, went back to Kenya, kept growing the company. I really like sold it and joined another company. And While that was going on, I received a phone call one day, and they were like, "Hey, Mastercard has a scholarship with us, and we'd like to nominate you to pursue this opportunity." So, I mean, it's an opportunity that found me. It's not like you like went that looked for it, but it's something, of course, I'm very grateful for. But that's literally how I ended up moving to Canada. I mean, I had my own hesitations because, we have a business going, yeah, it's expanding, it's doing well, but I think, it made sense venturing out. And yeah, I just not looked back since. And yeah, I just immigrated then. So yeah, that's how I ended up in Canada.
Wow. Very interesting. But what's catching my attention right now, Joe, is the fact that you chose agriculture, farming. Why? A millennial in agriculture, in farming. Very interesting. Why agriculture?
Yeah. So, I mean, I could say why agriculture. So, I mean, I grew up on a farm. That's the truth. I grew up on a farm. Yeah, so I was a shamba boy. So, I mean, like, when I was younger, I, like, used to go, harvest maize or like supervise maize being harvested. In the morning, sometimes I'd go milk the cows. We had chicken and stuff. So, I mean, I grew up on a farm, and naturally, I just wanted to make the most of it. Actually, a huge inspiration was my mom. So all credit to her. She was actually one of the best farmers in Kenya, and she was actually rewarded for it back in the 70s. For having, I think, the second or the third best farm in Nairobi. So, for I think mid-scale farmers. So that was a huge inspiration. Like, growing up and seeing a mother like do that, and so I was inclined at really like learning more and commercializing like what the agriculture space. And then another thing, I mean, like growing up in Kenya, like we always like on TV, you're like, hey, I mean, is this really the right career? So looking at agriculture really made sense in terms of just the opportunity for self-employment, even after school.
Is Fidelis Leadership Institute, and we are on our Fat Talks. Fat means faithful, available, and teachable.
You picking agriculture, and now this is you. What was life on the farm like? Because growing up, I knew the Shamba boys were the commonest guys around. You easily find them. So how was it growing up on the farm? And are you the only child? How was that for you? You say your mother was your huge inspiration. Uh, did she encourage you in going into farming? And how really paint a picture for us how growing up on the farm was?